Hello, and welcome to our Wellness Ambassadors at Work interview series, hosted by myself, Lisa Kelly of Kelly Wellness Consulting, Inc., and founder of the Workplace Wellness Ambassador Certification Programs. I'm honored today to be joined by Kathleen Blackmore of KathleenBlackmore.com. And Kathleen is one of our recently certified Master Workplace Wellness Ambassadors from our Master Program. So welcome, Kathleen, to our Wellness Ambassadors at Work interview series.
Hi, Lisa. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. And how are you today?
Fantastic. How are you?
I'm really good, thank you. So Kathleen, I thought we'd open our interview by having you share some of your highlights of your wellness coaching background and perhaps your goals and aspirations for workplace wellness consulting as one of our recently certified Master Ambassadors. And I also, in discussion with you, I also learned that you did a recent nutrition talk or presentation to your workplace. And maybe you might like to share with our viewers how that experience went, because I think you had a really, positive experience in that delivery.
Sure. Yes, I'd be happy to. So to start off with my background, I'm a certified health coach and a detox specialist. And I'm also, in addition to being a certified Master Ambassador, I'm also a certified worksite wellness specialist, as well as a certified worksite program manager. And so I personally have over 20 years in the corporate environment. And my passion for health and wellness started several years back. When I had my own transformation. And so I've been working on this in a sort of a side capacity ever since, and having my interests grow in health and wellness field for several years now. Right. In my current business, in my current corporation, as you mentioned, I had recent talks with my organization. We had what you call a training week, right, and where I offered up my services to do a couple of classes. And one of those classes was healthy eating, and another one was tools for stress management. Okay. So during that week, I had a full class for each of those. And I really went, back to the basics approach with both classes, because I wasn't really sure where the knowledge base was for that. And so it was a great experience. I had both classes were full, like I said, and I went through some very basic principles on healthy eating, and then gave them some tools for stress management, gave them some handouts. And after the discussion, I had some very positive feedback. I had several emails from people saying that they had never seen anything like this in my corporation. And a couple of people had actually asked me if I could further continue the series. Somebody, for example, had done Weight Watchers previously, but had said that they found that something like this being much more valuable to them. And is this something that I can continue with a small group? So, and that didn't happen in just with one person. It happened with somebody else as well. And like I said, I got several emails. So overall, very positive experience, and very rewarding from my perspective.
Right. And maybe for our viewers who are not aware of this, we are soon, and you're a part of this, to be launching a global focus on healthy eating program, which can be delivered predominantly to employers and work sites. And so as you're saying all this, I'm thinking that, as one of our newly trained focus facilitators and also a contributor to the program development, that program might certainly lend itself to, meeting the interests that they expressed and the needs in your organization, right?
Yeah. Oh, I'm very excited about that, Lisa, because my background, I'm really about getting people back to the basics in terms of healthy eating, which is very similarly aligned with the focus on healthy eating program. So absolutely.
And, and just to, we're probably maybe preaching to a choir by some of our viewers who have an interest in health and wellness, but for those who are not so knowledgeable, as you well know, and I know you know this intimately, that everything we do in our lives, from what we put in our bodies to our exercise to our stress management to our daily outlook, it all impacts our ability to function well in our jobs and to give the best of ourselves to our employers and be productive. And then the employer wins as well, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And so, that's what drives me to do what I do. And I've had a corporate background in HR and concurrently working as a nutritionist and personal trainer over the years. And I know myself, when I didn't take care of myself, I didn't feel well at work. I just didn't have the energy, and on and on. So yeah, no, I mean, the work you're doing is so valuable on all of our masters, and I'm just thrilled to get to support and work with each of you.
Yeah.
So, so on that note, then, how do you feel our Master Ambassador program has helped support your skill development, both as a health coach and as a workplace wellness professional, to provide coaching and consulting to employers, and also to your own health coaching clients that you work with on site or virtually?
Yeah, so Lisa, the Master Ambassador program has really provided me with a solid foundation to, I feel, approach corporate clients.
Mm-hmm.
So as part of the program, as you know, we've developed wellness campaigns within our teams.
Mm-hmm.
And so what that's allowed us to do is given us a solid foundation to really customize those programs towards corporate needs.
Mm-hmm.
And then not only do we have access to those particular wellness campaigns, but then the other teams that develop them within their own health professionals, we have access to those as well. So it's really provided me tools that I can, essentially take off the shelf, see what my corporate clients are looking for, and then customize them to the needs of their employees.
Right. And you were involved with Stephanie, I believe, in developing the Healthy Habits for Busy Managers, or something along those lines.
Yep.
And were you able to use some of that in your presentations you just spoke of minutes ago?
I did, absolutely. The healthy eating approach,
Mm-hmm.
I used that as a basis, and then I just built upon that for the actual presentation.
Right.
So,
And the programs and the campaigns you spoke of, they're certainly customizable, but you can almost take them as they are and just roll with them. I mean, they're all done for you, everything right to the promotional material. So it's one of the signature aspects of our program, and differentiates us from other training and certification programs in workplace wellness for sure. And so how about the virtual technology training? I mean, how is our program training in virtual technology and delivery, such as using Zoom that we're using now, our Rizuku platform for our online modules and discussions, and the Basecamp and other platforms that you learned of in our program? I mean, how has that helped support you in the work you do, both, with your health coaching clients, and then potentially down the road with other work in your organization or other employers?
So I have to say, initially, I wasn't too sure what to think about Zoom. I remember getting on one of the first calls with you,
Mm-hmm.
and logging on and seeing my face there. I wasn't prepared at that time to be that camera. I thought it was just going to be like one of those webinars.
Right.
And so it took some getting used to that over time. But I have to say, over time, and having the network of health professionals, right, being part of that call and listening to people talk and seeing people's faces, I think that virtual connection has really grown on me, and I can definitely see how something like that would be incorporated in my programs in the future. So I definitely think it's been a valuable tool.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's given us the means, obviously, to do what we're doing right now, and to be able to record this interview and have our faces obviously come up. And I just find it's a really engaging tool, right? And I know our other health coaches and workplace wellness ambassadors are using it a lot. We have one gal actually who's doing work in South America on site, but they're going to continue her services through technology like this to do virtual delivery. And that's really something that we train our masters in, as you know, is how to support employers, how to support your health coaching clients through virtual technology. And it's a win for everyone, right?
Oh, absolutely. And as we continue to work on projects, and we set up group meetings, that's just a natural fit right now into our meetings. It's somebody sets up a Zoom call, and then that's essentially what we use. And like you mentioned, Basecamp, I'm using that as well right now for one of our other projects.
Oh, excellent. And I mean, we're co-creating the Focus on Healthy Eating with over, I think, 25 plus health coaches globally. And we use everything from, Facebook groups to Rizuku to Zoom to have our webinars to co-create. And certainly having that familiarity and comfort with those tools now has really supported the development of the Focus. And I don't even know if we could have developed that without having that background in this, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And so in terms of maybe some marketing promotional skills that you may have gleaned and developed from our program, can you speak to that? Because, it's one thing to have the skills, right? But a number of our viewers may be potentially independent health coach is thinking, well, okay, it's all fine and good to have these skill sets, but how do I go out and connect with employers? How do I promote and market myself? And so we, as you know, offer a lot of support in that area as well through a marketing toolkit and mastermind marketing sessions, and even down to the private health coaching that, as a bonus in our program, some avail of. And, I've been able to help them with a lot of marketing from proposal and pricing development, so much so that one of our clients that I mentioned recently just got an international contract, I think, through some of the support I was able to give her in that regard. So anyways, my question specifically then is, how do you feel the marketing and promotional development in the program has helped you?
Well, I think you've given us, through going back to the tools, right? Rizuku is where really the foundation of all of our training has been. Mm-hmm. And so it's really something that we can go back through mm-hmm. and really identify how do we come up with a proposal or a response, to a company. Mm-hmm. But I think one of the most valuable pieces for me, aside from the programs, right? Because the content is the key. Once you have the content and once you have the topics and once you have those programs in place mm-hmm. and you want to take those to the corporations, you've given us a structure in terms of, how do you go out and sort of market those programs to people, but she's also given us opportunities for our own growth. Mm-hmm. So things like in our mastermind sessions where we talk about LinkedIn, or we talk about, mm-hmm. you offer like the Canva series where we can build up our handouts or our brochures or things like that. Right. To me, it's all of those things as a system really work nicely together, because in developing a proposal, you obviously want it to look nice aesthetically. Mm-hmm. And some people might not have the background, the technical background for that. Right. And so I really appreciate what you've given us through the mastermind sessions, the opportunities to build on those and grow with on those.
And in our marketing toolkit, as you know, I don't know if you had a chance to use it yet, but we even have a proposal template with a nice cover, very engaging cover image, that you just put your own personal information right. in. So it is all about, as you said, being professional and coming across that way to connect with employers, because as we know, first impressions are everything, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So no, thank you for that. And so, any other comments? We've talked a little bit about post-program support through Facebook and Mastermind, and anything you want to speak to that? Because as you well know, I think one of our other masters said the training continues long after the program finishes. And I was really, I took a lot of pride in that, because I do, as you know, put a lot of effort into supporting our ambassadors even after the program. And we've become a very close-knit group. And we support each other and, give each other a pat on the back and help each other when we're having challenges or give each other ideas. So how has that element helped you then as well in your work?
So Lisa, it's funny you mentioned it, because I think I was actually the one who had said about the continuous education. I view this program very differently than some of the other programs I've been a part of. Even though we received our certification, earlier this year, you've been very generous with your time and tools and such to offer us opportunities and projects and things like that to not only grow ourselves, but grow as a network. So I'm still continuing to work with some of the other individuals, like you mentioned, Stephanie.
Right.
So we still work outside of this, but it allows us to build those relationships and such, right. and have that continuous education learning and have those opportunities there. So it's been really nice to have that venue, of like-minded individuals to bounce things off of and draw from their experiences.
Yeah, because this work, when you're working independently, we have ambassadors really across the globe, from Nigeria to Dubai to Hong Kong to US and Canada. And, it can be lonely work sometimes when you're working independently, right? And you work in isolation. And I really think of our ambassadors as a family and a network, a close network that we know that we can just, email or go on Zoom. And I know yourself and Stephanie and some others are like co-creating a handout for, I believe, our Focus program. And that just helps to further build relationships. So I really am so thrilled that that's worked out that way for each of you.
Yeah. Now, if I can add on to that, going back to my original experience in my current corporate environment, when I offered up that training for the healthy eating class and the tools for stress management class, I sort of went out on a limb with that and didn't really know exactly how I should go down and approach that, right? I mean, with an organization of 450 people, it's kind of a daunting exercise. And so I was able to, through your tools, right, sort of pull from our organization's needs and such.
Oh, right.
And develop a survey, send it out to our organization, right, using some of your questions that you provided and a template that you provided, and sort of draw from what are the needs of our current customers or our employees in our organization. Right. And that's essentially what I used as a foundation for modifying or making sure that the presentation at the end of the day addressed their needs and sort of the audience.
Right.
So, again, going back to the tools that you provided, but then also I bounced it off of other health coaches, different questions that they might ask within their organizations or in wellness organizations based on their experiences. So it was very, very helpful.
Yeah. And, I thank you for bringing that up, because it really does begin first and foremost with identifying an organization's needs. And I could spend a whole other webinar talking about needs assessment and interest assessment, but you're absolutely right. And I'm really pleased to hear that you took that first step rather than just going in and assuming what employees may want, because it is about first meeting their needs, right, and meeting employees where they're at. So thank you. I appreciate you bringing that up. So any other final comments you want to share with our viewers about our program, or where your aspirations are right now in this line of work?
I just think it's for me, it's been a fantastic experience, the program as a whole. I'm looking forward to pursuing, this line of work in the future. Right now, I do currently work in corporate. Whether it's something that I pursue on my own or offer up my services within the organization, that remains to be seen. Obviously, I do have obviously services on my own, but I'd be open to discussions if it warranted other opportunities within our organization. I think there's definitely a need for it.
Right.
And the thing about corporate is it's such a great way to reach the masses. And when you look at healthy eating and health and wellness, there's such a need for it. Right. So it's how do we be as efficient as possible? Yeah.
And who knows, maybe, your organization will look to hire you for the focus in healthy eating. And that would be a real win for you and for them. And maybe, eventually build up a part-time job as a wellness coordinator within your organization. And that would be thrilling. That would be nice to see for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my services specifically, I'm really involved in body detoxification and weight loss. And so I offer programs that are based on whole foods.
Right.
And then I offer personal nutritional coaching and then corporate workshops and corporate speaking. Right. And so again, any combination of those that I can do to help a company, I would definitely be open to. Right. Those are all my different areas of expertise. And I look forward to being the change, right?
Yeah, no, exactly. And we are change agents for sure. And so thank you. And Kathleen, this has really been interesting, and you've brought some different aspects to our interview today. So I thank you for that as well. So again, thank you. And thank you for participation in our interview series. And a special thanks to you, our viewer, for joining us again today. And so we encourage you to watch other interviews in our series in our Kelly Wellness Consulting YouTube channel. To learn more about our upcoming Workplace Wellness Ambassador certification programs, please visit us at kellywc.com. Again, that's kellywc.com. And if you have any questions you'd like to address to me personally, you can certainly email me at info@kellywc.com. So till we meet again, stay healthy, stay well, and as always, live your best life. Thank you. Thank you, Kathleen.
Thank you, Lisa.
Bye.